Hello and welcome into the Pioneers Weekly Recap. I'm Brian Stayton. As we take a look at what the Pioneers have done this past week, we'll also look ahead to where the Pioneers will be this coming week. Well, it was an interesting start to the year for the Tusculum Pioneer men's soccer team. After a team that won just 2 games last year, but also got results in 8 of their games last year, 2-8-6 from a year ago. Pioneers open up for the very first time with 2 shutout victories. Over the weekend, they open up with Emmanuel out of Georgia, winning it 1-0. And then in game number 2, with the rivalry game against King University, come up with yet another shutout in 3-0. For the Pioneer women's soccer team, still at home over the weekend, a big victory against 23rd ranked Nova Southeastern, a 3-2 win over Nova. Set pieces were huge for the Pioneers. They scored in the first 8 minutes of the contest and were able to hang on to that victory. And in game number 2, they get a overtime shutout draw against Palm Beach Atlantic on Sunday afternoon. For the volleyball team, they were entertaining 4 teams this weekend. They call it the South Atlantic Conference Regional Crossover. And Friday night, the Tusculum women were victorious 3-0 against Shawan. And then in game number 2 on Friday, they knock off Emmanuel, Georgia 3-1. And then on Saturday, after some big rallies late, they were still unable to come away with victories. Belmont Abbey defeats Tusculum 3-2, and King shuts out Tusculum 3-0 in volleyball action. And in football action on Thursday night under the lights, the blackout game against North Greenville University, the Tusculum Pioneers dropped their 6th straight to the Crusaders of North Greenville, 13-3. Despite outgaining the visitors, they were unable to get into the end zone and lose 13-3, giving up 2 fumbles and a block punt, or I should say 2 turnovers and a block punt, which resulted into the 13 points for North Greenville University. This coming week on Wednesday, midweek, Young Harrison Tusculum from Pioneer Field at 7 o'clock. A key regional showdown in men's soccer action. Again, the Pioneers will be at home. You can watch that through the TusculumPioneers.com. On Friday, volleyball action at Pioneer Arena as LMU and Georgia College will start action at 2 o'clock. Then you can watch Tusculum and Montevallo at 4:30. Cross-country action on Friday. Tusculum is hosting the Zaxby's Open from the Holston Homes course. And just a little tidbit of information for you if you're coming into Greenville to go park and witness that event, you'll need to really stay away from the 70 bypass truck route. Best place to park will be up through Holston Home on Summer Street or just off of Summer Street, where the course will come out to that part of the street. If you'll park there in that area, you'll have plenty more parking if you're coming in. If not, there's a huge traffic jam. You may not be able to cross the road. There might be a police officer there that helps you, but just a little bit of insider's information for the Zaxby's Open in the cross country at Holston Homes course. Again, the 70 bypass truck route is a 4-lane road. Summer Street is straight through the street light. When you get there, you'll see what we're talking about. It does cause a bit of a confusion and some parking as well. But that will begin at 6 o'clock on Friday evening, the cross country. And women's soccer is on the road at Winter Park, Florida, as they will take on Rollins at 7 o'clock. On Saturday, volleyball again in action still at Pioneer Arena. First game at 12 o'clock, Montevallo versus Georgia College. And the Tusculum volleyball team will take on Georgia College at 4. You can also watch LMU against Montevallo at 2. Men's soccer takes on Lander. They'll be on the road for the first time as they travel to Greenwood, South Carolina. That'll be a 7 o'clock kickoff time. And then on Saturday afternoon, the Tusculum Pioneer men's football team will be in action against Gulf Coast Conference, or I should say Gulf South Conference opponent, Shorter University and the Hawks. Our coverage on the Pioneer Sports Network will begin at 12 o'clock and kickoff will be at 1 o'clock. On Sunday, women's soccer in Daytona Beach, Florida will get a bit of a brunch start, an 11 a.m. start as they take on Embry-Riddle. That's been a look at Tusculum and the Pioneers weekly recap. Back next week with a recap of the Pioneers and the results for this week and a look ahead to the next week as well. I'm Brian Stayton for the Pioneers weekly recap.